We all know radio, right? It feels like it's been around forever. But what if I told you that this everyday technology has been hiding a huge, surprisingly wasteful secret right out in the open? So let's dive in and see what's really going on. I mean, just think about that for a second. What if over 80% of the gasoline you put in your car was just gone, burned up without moving you an inch? Well, that's pretty much the reality of conventional radio. Today, we're going to see how some brilliant engineering clawed back all that wasted power. All right, so to get to the bottom of this, we've got to start with the classic, AM radio. It's simple, it works, but as we're about to see, that simplicity comes at a massive, massive cost. So how does this thing even work? Well, you've got this powerful, high-frequency signal called a carrier wave. Think of it like a big, steady river. Now your voice, the actual information, that's like a boat. To get the message across, you make the river's waves bigger or smaller, perfectly matching the sound of your voice. The information is now encoded right there in the flow of the river. And this right here, this quote just nails it. The carrier wave, our river, it doesn't actually contain any of the message. It's just the delivery truck. And we are paying for a massive gas-guzzling truck just to send a teeny, tiny letter. It's wild. Okay, so where is all this energy actually going? To figure that out, we need to pop the hood on an AM signal and see what it's made of. And it turns out it's got three main parts. First, you've got the carrier. That's our big, empty delivery truck. Then you have two sidebands. And here's the crazy part. These sidebands are identical copies of your message. So not only are we wasting a ton of power on the truck, we're literally sending the exact same package twice. And look at this. The numbers don't lie. A whopping 2/3 of all the power you pump into the transmitter is just wasted on that carrier. Only a tiny 1/3 is actually left for the message itself. It is just shockingly inefficient when you see it laid out like this. So engineers looked at this and thought, there is no way this is the best we can do. So they started asking, what can we just get rid of? And the first, most obvious target was that huge, power-hungry carrier. And this leads us to our first big fix, something called double sideband suppressed carrier, or DSB-SC for short. Basically, they use a clever circuit that completely cancels out that useless carrier before the signal ever leaves the antenna. And here's what that looks like. See? The two sidebands are two copies of the message. They're still there. But that big carrier in the middle, poof, it's gone. We're not sending the truck anymore, just the packages. And the result? A massive win. Just like that, by doing one thing, we've saved 2/3 of our power. All that energy is now going where it should have been all along, to the parts that actually carry the information. Okay, this is a huge improvement, for sure. But wait a minute, we're still sending two identical copies of the exact same message. So the next logical question is, why? And asking that question, well, that leads us to the final, most elegant solution, the absolute pinnacle of analog radio efficiency. And that is single sideband, or SSB. It's so simple, it's brilliant. We already got rid of the carrier, right? So now we just use a filter to chop off one of those redundant sidebands. We are stripping this signal down to the absolute bare essentials. Just look at the difference here. On the left, you've got DSB with its two copies. And on the right, that's SSB. It's lean, it's clean, and it has 100% of the information with literally zero waste. It is just pure engineering efficiency. So when you add it all up by ditching both the carrier and one of the sidebands, we have saved over 83% of the power compared to that original AM signal. That is a staggering improvement. So what do we actually get with all this saved power? Well, the benefits of SSB are huge, and they go way, way beyond just a lower electricity bill. I mean, this chart really says it all. SSB isn't just a little better, it's better across the board. It's way more power efficient, it uses half the space on the radio dial, it's less susceptible to noise, and it's more robust against fading. It is a home run. Let's break that down real quick. That power conservation, it means your signal can travel much, much farther. Think long-range communications. Bandwidth conservation, that's a big deal. You can literally fit twice as many channels or stations into the same slice of radio spectrum. The noise reduction means you get a clearer, crisper signal. And less fading means it's just plain more reliable, especially for critical long-distance stuff. But, in the world of engineering, there is no such thing as a free lunch. There is always a catch. And all this incredible efficiency, it comes at a price. And that trade-off is complexity. The SSB receiver, the radio that has to listen to this signal, has to work a lot harder than a simple, cheap AM radio. And here's why. That carrier wave we threw out to save power, well, the receiver has to perfectly recreate it on its end to make sense of the message. And when I say perfectly, I mean perfectly. If the frequency is off by even a tiny little bit, you get that classic, garbled Donald Duck sound. Doing that requires much more precise and, yeah, more expensive circuitry. That's the real reason your car radio isn't using this super efficient SSB. You know, the story of SSB is this amazing lesson in the relentless pursuit of efficiency. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? Here in our super advanced digital world, what kind of invisible waste are we still transmitting every single day? What are the new inefficiencies that we've just come to accept? And who are the engineers out there right now building the next elegant solution?